The origins of these stories are from the Akan civilization in Africa. The folk tales were brought to Jamaica by Africans during the transatlantic slave trade. Do you know what stories I'm talking about? I'm talking about Anansi stories. They were made to entertain us while sharpening our wits.
Go down a Manuel Road, Galam boy, took a broke rock stone, Galam boy, finger must no cry, Galam boy, remember the play with the play, Galam boy. One of the story of Big Boy is that Big Boy was in school and teacher Hawks, who died for Adam falling race. And Big Boy sat there and teacher direct this question to Big Boy, and Big Boy wouldn't answer. Big Boy's grandmother was behind him with her pin in her hat, and Big Boy wouldn't answer. And when grandmother heard that he wouldn't answer, she pulled the hat pin out and stuck him in the back. And he said, "Oh Lord Jesus Christ!" And the teacher said, "What a bright boy, and very good Big Boy," because he felt this stick in his back, so he cried out for Lord Jesus Christ, but he didn't know that it was Lord Jesus Christ was the answer that teacher was looking for.
Jack Mandora, me no choose none. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams, and today you'll find me at Devon House. Yes, it's still Heritage Month, and we have so much more in store to tell you about our heritage. So don't go anywhere, we'll soon come back.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, October 20, 2023. Jamaica and Canada held bilateral talks yesterday on trade and investment, access to finance, and climate resilience on the heels of the Canada-CARICOM Summit held over the past 2 days in Ottawa. Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith had discussions with Canada's Minister of International Trade, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness met with his Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau. During a plenary session of the summit, Prime Minister Holness made a call for direct bilateral talks between Canada and CARICOM countries to be intensified.
From services, including tourism, to energy, agriculture, there is a strong trading and investment relationship between Canada and the CARICOM region. But I think we can all agree that the relationship can be mutually strengthened, and there is much more to leverage than we are presently doing.
Mr. Holness also highlighted the need for greater development of transportation logistics and human capital within the region.
Clearly, as our economies develop and move more towards services and technological innovation, on both sides, but particularly within the CARICOM region, greater investments are needed in our human resource development, focusing on STEM and innovation, technology. And I think that this is a great opportunity between Canada and the region to explore how this can be done.
Mr. Holness added that the extension of the non-reciprocal Canada-CARICOM Trade Agreement, CARIB-CAN, will provide more opportunities for the region. Meanwhile, the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., will lead a team to Canada next week. The mission is to continue probes into allegations of inhumane treatment of workers, including Jamaicans, on the Farmwork program in Canada. Minister Charles Jr. is expected to meet with employers and relevant authorities to make further enquiries about complaints that do not match up with a report that the government of Jamaica received. The concern was raised at a town hall meeting in Ottawa, Canada, by a member of the diaspora community. In response, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith said a credible structure was put in place to investigate and produce the report. But she asserted that if the report was presumed to be incomplete or doesn't reflect the whole story, there was a responsibility to inquire further.
There is a Senate committee as well, and on it, a Jamaican-born senator sits, Senator Moody, and they are charged with and are making inquiries about the process and are making recommendations. The scope of the problem is being assessed as well from the Canadian perspective, and we're engaging with them and promoting and encouraging that work to take place.
Weighing in, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said if the Farmwork program was contravening the laws, standards, policies and expectations of both Canada and Jamaica, that must be addressed.
So it is a duty of the government, obviously, to take any complaint seriously and to investigate it. And if it doesn't, we have to work to fix it without prejudice to the people who benefit from the program, meaning the Jamaican farm workers and the Canadian farmers. So I think this is an opportunity to improve the program.
The Ministry of Education and Youth has started the rollout of the Education Management Information System, EMIS, which will track the conduct, attendance, and academic performance of students. This is one of the recommendations of the 2022 Jamaica Education Transformation Commission, JETC, report. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams gave an update on efforts to implement the report's recommendations during a press conference at Jamaica House on Wednesday. She says the ministry will be collaborating with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, to help build out the EMIS.
To have an electronic system that to help us do the attendance of students will alert us very quickly if a particular student is absent 3, 4, 5 days. So then we can almost immediately, try to find out what's going on in the home. Is this child ill or has moved? What is happening?
The Behavior Alert component will allow teachers to post notes in the system that will notify guidance counselors to any student's behavior. This will allow the counselors to reach out to the child before any confrontations or disruptions in the school. The rollout is taking place parish by parish, beginning with Kingston and progressing to St. Andrew. The Ministry of National Security says early warning systems must be established to address the abuse of Molly and other illicit drug usage in the country. State Minister Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn made the pronouncement at the National Workshop on Early Warning Systems on Drugs held on Wednesday.
Early warning systems are crucial tools in addressing drug abuse. They allow us to detect, as we all know, emerging signals, identify vulnerable communities, assess the effectiveness of existing prevention, and also the intervention measures that we should put in. They also provide a vital link between data, analysis, and also actions, enabling us to be proactive rather than reactive in our approach.
The workshop was hosted by the Organization of American States Inter-American Drug Abuse Control Commission in collaboration with the National Council on Drug Abuse. Minister Cuthbert-Flynn says early warning signs as an interagency approach present a realistic opportunity for countries like Jamaica to identify emerging drugs that may pose a potential threat to public health and safety.
We are dedicated not only working together locally, but also hand in hand with our partners regionally and international partners to develop and also to implement best practices.
About 240 healthcare staff are to benefit from violence-related trauma management training. The training is being provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness with support from the Spotlight Initiative and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the intervention will further equip health workers to provide better care and support in cases of violence-related injuries. The comprehensive series of training and sensitization sessions began on October 17, World Trauma Day, and will continue into November. World Trauma Day was celebrated this year under the theme, Empowering Voices, Healing Wounds Together. And finally, close to 500 residents in Falmouth and its environs benefited from life-saving health screenings recently under the Ministry of Health's Know Your Numbers campaign. Minister Christopher Tufton says several people who took the opportunity of receiving the various health tests at the Trelawney launch were on the verge of a health crisis.
We did just over 1,600 screenings, meaning tests, yesterday in Trelawney, in Falmouth. Not 1,600 people, 450 or so persons, some doing multiple tests. Of that number, 150 had to be referred to the doctor for follow-up. And about 99 or so, just reading a report this morning, had to have extensive consultations.
Dr. Tufton gave the update as he opened a mammography unit for breast cancer screening at the Cornwall Regional Hospital recently. He revealed that 100 persons were found to be suffering from serious health issues.
It means that they would have been hypertensive, never knew that their blood pressure was out of whack. What's the logical consequence? One day they fall down. Stroke. They were advanced diabetes, never knew that they had it. What's the logical consequence of that? Kidney-related issues, a lot of other things, losing a limb, whatever, dialysis.
The minister stresses that the findings point to the value of the Know Your Numbers program and the need for persons to do regular health checkups and screenings. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Did you know that Devon House was built in 1881 and was owned by George Stibel, the first Jamaican black millionaire? Yes, he gained his millions in South America and constructed this massive mansion. Now, speaking of historical roots, it always goes back to what Mom and Papa said. So let's hear a little bit more about what this Jamaican family has to say about their historical roots.
Being Jamaican is a unique, rich experience that encompasses so much. Our food, music, dialect,
Go tell my brother them said,
and most importantly, our family. Follow me as I pay a visit to two among that Jamaican family, Miss Delcita and her daughter Glossy, who had a lot to say about our heritage.
Go down a Manuel Road, Galam boy, to go broke rockstone, Galam boy. Finger must no cry, Galam boy. Remember the play with the play, Galam boy. My name is Delcita Fuller. I was born in 1935. I was born in Spanish Town and most of my time spent in St. Catherine. My mother had me and my older sister. My father had two other children, which was not with my mother. Those days children got to make your own toys. We didn't get toys like children these days. Only at Christmas they will buy you a toy. Maybe the girl will get a doll or the boy gets something else. The girls will make plays like ring plays, clap hand plays, and all sort of different things to enjoy ourselves. In the country we don't have shops near us, so we would have to go maybe a mile or two to shop. And it was good in those days. People around us looked after children. When our parents send us out, not like now you'll be worrying. In those days we didn't have a lot of taxis and buses and vehicles. Do you know that if I tell you 1 and 6, 1 shilling and 6 pence, you wouldn't have no idea how much that is. And I have some coins there that it was 20 pence make a shilling. A man's daily wages was a shilling and sixpence. But that shilling and sixpence, you could take the sixpence to the shop and you could buy some flour, and you could buy some oil, and maybe some saltfish. I met my husband and we get together when I was 17. And I had my first child when I was 19. And we lived together until he died. Well, we had 6 children together. My eldest is here. I won't say her age. She'll say it.
I was born in 1954. All the time in my life, I've always been reminded, especially when I was young, that I was the eldest. And it seemed to me that I was expected to behave as an older child, even when I was, 3, 4, and 5. But on looking back, I feel like the older or the eldest child was always, to take on some sort of responsibility, and that was expected of you. Yes, it was part of the heritage. And I think even when I grew up my children, I felt the same sort of thing.
I think I brought my children up the way my mother brought me up. In my time, and there was nothing named television in Jamaica, and even when I was young, is one or few people have radio. I tell you, we had fun because in the evenings at my parents' home, we'd have the visitors and they would play games. I can think of one, they call it ring play, that could be 10 of you, 6 of you, 12 of you, have a stone in your hand and you'll sit around in a ring and you'll sing, go down a Manuel Road, get on board, to go broke rock stone, get on board, finger must no cry, get on board, remember the play with the play, get on board. And in that time, when I pick up my stone, I drop it there and I'm ready to get your stone, and it's going around like that. My stone there and I pick the next and it goes around the ring and you had fun. I don't know if you're getting it.
I get it. Our memories that make us Jamaicans are the fabric that binds us together. So, what's your heritage?
Jamaica is my heritage.
Jamaica is my heritage.
Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding. Mosquitoes will breed in any container that holds water.
Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, barrels, buckets and tanks. If this cannot be done, pour cooking oil on the water surface. Punch holes in all tins, plastics and beverage boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover all tires or fill with dirt to prevent water collection. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs. Use mosquito repellents to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Dispose of garbage properly by placing in plastic bags and securing properly to prevent water collection.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The Palm Hall, they're panels on the wall. They're painted on cotton. Originally, they were painted on silk.
Wow, they are lovely though. Thank you so much, Miss Norma. Appreciate it. All righty. The 53 acres on which Devon House is built was a part of Devon Pen. A pen was an area where livestock was raised in support of the large sugar plantations. Today, we're no longer powered by large sugar plantations, but by a free economy, a multi-sector economy with free employed citizens. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is working to create a more customer-centric business culture. And among the many initiatives they have is the Your Service Expo. Take a look.
We've been thinking about this type of event for a while, for 2 years actually, thinking what would it be like if we showcase what the ministry has to offer. We have this critical service and we thought now is the best time to showcase that not only are we serious about service delivery, service excellence, but we have so much to offer the Jamaican people and the businesses and even our fellow government workers, and this is where you can get it.
I bring warm greetings on behalf of the Jamaica Customer Service Association, of which I'm honored to serve as a board member. This commitment reflects the ministry's unwavering dedication to providing exceptional customer service to our beloved nation. This integration of the human touch into the digital realm highlights a fundamental truth. No matter how advanced technology becomes, trust is inherently built on relationships. The Ministry of Finance and Public Service steadfast commitment to leading Jamaican's public sector towards a more customer-centric culture is unmistakably evident.
I want to invite some people on stage with me because I want to find out what matters to you.
Jamaica is an extremely resourceful country. We actually are one of the most esteemed countries in the Caribbean.
And it is imperative that we get and we conduct surveys to hear what are the issues concerning our citizens, right?
And solution, charities, donations, and fundraising. Please help our students. Our students are our futures.
My vision aligns with our country's 2030 vision, making Jamaica a better place to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thank you.
We're here today to provide information about what the Economic Management Division does in relation to carrying out the objectives of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service.
Today we're here at the Expo just to expose everyone to some of the products and services offered at Statin, inviting persons to call us, email us, visit our social media platforms at Statin JA to learn more about why you should work where we work and why you should look into the information that we have so you can make more informed decisions.
Experience here was very good. It was very satisfactory. I actually learned about how to go about my student loans and they clarified about the different taxes, etc.
At the FID, we investigate and prosecute financial crime of all types. Today we're here at your service Expo so that we can share more information with the public, because it is a part of our mandate to update the public on financial crimes, and we're happy that we've been able to share with them in the way that we have.
We're the Students Loan Bureau. We're here to engage with our customers, preferably the kids, just to inform them of what the student loan is about and what we have to offer them.
Today, TAJ is here giving general tax information. So come on over, ask your questions, and we're here to serve as we continue to change the way we do business by working together to serve you even better.
Here today really to just educate persons on what the DBJ has to offer. We have loans, we have grants, and we have so much more, and we just want to help entrepreneurs actualize what they can do, and also a knowledge sharing experience for the students here today.
Today, I am attending the Ministry of Finance at Your Service Expo here at the AC Hotel. So far, things have been so impressive. If you weren't here, you truly missed it today. I just want to say congratulations to Ministry of Finance for doing such a stellar job putting this on today.
To save this mansion from being bulldozed after being vacant for a very long time, the government bought the property, and today it's a prime tourist attraction as well as a popular local chill spot. Learn more about our historical sites in our next feature.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Guess me this riddle, and perhaps not. You find it at the northeastern tip of the island, with your 2 feet planted on 814 square kilometers of land. If you're in St. Thomas and look north, you'll see it. And if you're in St. Mary heading east, you can't miss the street. Walk with us as we journey this natural beauty and explore the stories behind 4 places perfect to the place in this paradisiac Portland. Okay guys, so one of our first stops in Portland is at the Charlestown Maroon Village. This is one of 5 maroon settlements in the island.
Welcome to our museum. So the museum in Charlestown is one that you can come to know more about the maroon. We are like the Sankofa bird. We go back to our foreparent time, we take things from then, we keep it for today, for the generation to come. Come see, come see, Wagwan. Now this museum came about was fully developed in 2002, but was open to the public in 2003. Some of these pieces were actually at the members of the community's home. Hey, listen, before you leave Portland, you should definitely visit Fort George, which is at the Titchfield Peninsula in Port Antonio.
The Titchfield Peninsula was first occupied by the British in the 17th century, and soon after Fort George was built in 1729.
And this represented the outshoot of what Port Antonio would eventually become. The thing about the fort is that this is where all of the main offices for the parish were housed. The hospital, the courthouse, small little barracks to hold persons who had offended the crown. Now, over the years, what has happened is that the fort itself has evolved, and it evolved into becoming a school.
Wow, can you imagine all the details and eventful stories that this beauty has seen? After you're done touring with us, you should definitely go and check out the history of this place. But right now, we're headed to a place that stands about 45 feet, something that has lit the shore of the Eastern Harbor since 1888 and overlooks the Caribbean Sea that glistens by day. The Folly Point Lighthouse is made of coral and limestone. It has been in operation since 1888 and is still active to this day. Made of bricks, it's fireproof, it offers a beautiful scene and a lovely view of Monkey Island.
In 1871 actually, a gentleman by the name of Captain Lorenzo Dow Baker sailed into Port Antonio. What he did is that he said to the people of Portland when he left, is that no matter how much banana you can plant and cultivate and reap, I can buy them. So that is how the banana industry started in Jamaica. As a result of that, persons were also staying in the parish as part of the world tourist mecca sort of a thing. It became paramount because of the amount of shipping activities that were taking place in the area that a lighthouse will be created.
Now I did make mention of Monkey Island, and no, there aren't actually any monkeys in this area. But history tells us of a time when some spent a few days at this area. The view alone is something that will pull you in and trap you. Come now.
We've come to the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, jis.gov.jm. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., we're not the makers of history, we're made by history. I'm Audrey Williams. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.